Yes, good morning students. Today we shall study our third chapter of geography, that is drainage. The first question of this chapter is, what is river or drainage basin? River or drainage basin is the area drained by a river system, and any area which is drained by a river system is called river or drainage basin. Next question is, what is watershed? Any upland or highland that divides the two drainage basin system is called the watershed. Our next question is, which river has the largest basin in India? River Ganga. The basin of river Ganga has the largest basin in India. Next question is, in which two major groups Indian rivers are divided into? Indian rivers are divided into two major groups, that is the Himalayan river and the peninsular river. Next question is, what is perennial rivers? Perennial rivers are those rivers which remains flow of water all the year around. These rivers gets the water by rainfall as well as melting of snows, so they remains full of water all the years around and called perennial. Our next question is, what is gorge? Gorge is a deep narrow channel that is created by river. Our next question is, how do Himalayan rivers do in their upper course? The Himalayan rivers perform the great erosional activity in their upper course and thereby carry a huge load of silt and sand. Our next question is, list the factors on which the drainage pattern depends. Drainage pattern of any area depends on the slope of the land, the rock types, and the climatic condition of the region. These are the factors that determines the drainage pattern. Next question is, how does the dendritic pattern formed by the rivers? The dendritic pattern is formed when the river flows down the slope. When the river flows down the slopes and it is joined by several tributaries and takes the shape of a tree, that is why it's given a name dendritic. Our next question is, how does a radial pattern of drainage develop? Radial pattern of drainage develop when a river flows down a slope and it's moves into different direction in a dome, then this pattern is achieved. Next question is, how does rectangular pattern of drainage develop? Rectangular pattern of drainage develops on a strongly joined rocky terrain. Next question is, why are peninsular rivers called seasonal? Peninsular rivers are called seasonal because they gets water only during the rainy season, or rainfall is the only source of their water, so they remains full of water during the rainy season, whereas during the non-rainy season these rivers remains dry or carry a very little amount of water. Our next question is, where do most of the peninsular rivers originate? Where do they flow? Most of the peninsular rivers originates from the Western Ghats, as these ghats are having very high elevation, so most of the rivers originates from the Western Ghats and moves towards the east, towards the Eastern Ghats, because of the gentle slope towards the east and because the Eastern Ghats have plenty of passes. So most of the rivers flows from the Western Ghats and falls into the Bay of Bengal. Our next question is, name the main Himalayan river system. The main Himalayan river system are the Indus river system, Ganga river system and Brahmaputra river system. Apart from this, Satluj river system is also a part of the Himalayan river system. Next question is, mention any two features of Himalayan rivers. The main features of Himalayan rivers are that they remains full of water all the year around because they gets water by rainfall as well as melting of snow. And the second feature is that these rivers are long and their drainage basins are very large. They brings rich alluvial soil along with them and deposits on the northern plains. Our next question is, what is a river system? A river system, a river along with their tributaries. A river that flows along with their tributaries is called the river system. Next question is, where does Indus River originate? Indus River originate in Tibet near Lake Mansarovar. Next question is, which are the main tributaries of river Indus? The main tributaries of river Indus are Ravi, Beas, Jhelum and Chenab. Next question is, from which place does river Ganga originate? The headwater of river Ganga called Bhagirathi takes its maximum water from the Gangotri glaciers. The river Ganga that is joined by Alaknanda at Devprayag in Uttarakhand. That is the originating place of river Ganga. Next question is, name the main tributaries of river Ganga. The main tributaries of river Ganga are Yamuna, Gandhak, Kosi and Ghagra. Yes, our next question is, mention the distinguished features about Ghagra, Gandhak and Kosi rivers. Ghagra, Gandhak and Kosi rivers causes the flood in the northern plains. And the second feature is that these rivers drains a rich alluvial soil along with them, and as a result makes the northern plain very rich and fertile for intensive cultivation. Our next question is, where did Ganga river named as Meghna? When river Ganga is joined by Brahmaputra, it is given a name Meghna. Next question is, how is Sundarban Delta formed? Sundarban Delta, when the two rivers, Ganga and Brahmaputra, before falling into Bay of Bengal, makes a delta by depositing the rich silt and clay on the head of the ocean, and through its distributaries this delta is created, and this delta is of the world's largest and fastest growing delta of the world. Our next question is, which place is located on water divide of river Ganga and river Indus? The Ambala Plains. Ambala Plains are located of the water divide of river Ganga and river Indus. Our fifth question is, from where does Brahmaputra river originate? River Brahmaputra originates in Tibet east of Lake Mansarovar at a very close source of river Indus and Satluj. Our next question is, from where Brahmaputra river enters? Brahmaputra river originates at near Lake Mansarovar, and most of the time it flows in Tibet, but at Namcha Bharwa, which is more than 7,000 meter in height, at Namcha Bharwa it takes a U-turn and enters into India in Arunachal Pradesh through a gorge. Our next question is, what is Brahmaputra called in Tibet and Bangladesh? River Brahmaputra is called Sangpo in Tibet, and in Bangladesh it is called Jamuna. Next question is, how is Brahmaputra river different from other North Indian rivers? Brahmaputra river is different from other North Indian rivers because it takes a huge amount of silt and clay along with it and deposits on its bed. Thereby, the bed of this river remains upward always. And second feature is that Brahmaputra river changes its channel quite frequently. So these are two features of river Brahmaputra. The next one is that name the main water divide in peninsular India. The main water divide of peninsular India is Western Ghats. Western Ghat is the upland of the peninsular India and it is the main water divide. And next one is name the major peninsular rivers of India. The main peninsular rivers of India are river Godavari, river Krishna, river Kaveri, river Mahanadi. These are some of the most important rivers of peninsular India. Our next question is name the peninsular rivers flowing westward and also make estuaries. As we have seen earlier that most of the peninsular rivers flows eastward and falls into the Bay of Bengal. There are two rivers, two prominent rivers which flows westward, and these rivers are river Narmada and river Tapi. And these are also rivers that makes estuaries. These rivers don't make deltas, whereas all the east flowing rivers makes deltas, whereas river Narmada and river Tapi make estuaries. Next question is from which place river Narmada rises? River Narmada rises from Amarkantak in Madhya Pradesh. Yes, our next question is where does the river Tapi rises? The river Tapi rises in Satpura range in Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. Our next question is name the states which covers parts of Tapi river. Parts covered by Tapi rivers are Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Our next question is which is the largest peninsular river? The largest peninsular river of India is Godavari river, which is the largest peninsular river and is also known as Dakshin Ganga. Our next question is where does river Godavari rise? River Godavari rise from the slopes of the Western Ghats in the Nasik districts of Maharashtra. Our next question is which drainage basin largest among the peninsular river? The largest basin is of Godavari river. Godavari is the largest of all the peninsular river of India and its basin is the largest. Yes, from which region river Krishna rises? River Krishna rises from a spring near Mahabaleshwar. Our next question is mention the composition of water on Earth's surface. On the surface of the Earth, 97% water is found in the ocean and that is the salty water. And out of fresh water, that is only 3% of on the surface of the earth, that is fresh water that is found in rivers, lakes, ponds, icebergs, glaciers and all others. Our next question is what are oxbow lakes formed? Oxbow lakes is formed when the river takes a meandering course and the meandering course of the river is changed and the leftover portion is called the oxbow lake. Our next question is what are the freshwater lakes? Freshwater lakes are found in the Himalayan region. They take most of their waters by melting of snow. That is why they are freshwater lakes. And next question is give the full form of GAP and NRCP. GAP stands for Ganga Action Plan and NRCP stands for National River Conservation Plan. Next question is explain three features of peninsular river. The features of peninsular rivers are that these rivers are seasonal in nature because they get water from rainfall only. During the non-rainy seasons, they becomes a small stream or becomes almost dry. And second features that most of the peninsular rivers originates from Western Ghats and moves towards the Eastern Ghats towards eastward and falls into the Bay of Bengal, and there they forms deltas. Most of the peninsular rivers are short and shallow, and these rivers is depend on rainfall and becomes very shallow during the non-rainy season. Our next question is, why are peninsular rivers seasonal in nature? State any three reasons. Peninsular rivers, as we have discussed earlier also, that are seasonal in nature because they gets their water from rainfall only. They are not snow fed. And second thing is that the Western Ghats and the Peninsular Plateau, the hills of Peninsular Plateau are not snowbound. So there is no melting of snow that gives water to these rivers. So they are totally depend on the rainfall. Third reason is that the catchment area of these rivers are very small. Catchment area is that area at which the rivers gets its maximum water either by rainfall or snow. So the catchment area of these rivers is very small. And the fourth reason is that these rivers, peninsular rivers, have very short course. So their drainage basin is also very small. Our next question is, which two rivers form the largest delta? Write any two features of this delta. We have discussed earlier also that river Ganga and river Brahmaputra forms the largest delta of the world, that is the Sundarban delta. This delta is known because of the Sundari tree, which are the mangrove trees and found in this region. These deltas are formed by deposition of rich fertile soil when the rivers falls in the ocean. This region, this Sundarban, is very good for growing of crops, and these are the homes of the Royal Bengal tiger. Our next question is, compare between delta and estuary. As we have discussed earlier, that deltas are the triangular shape depositions. When the river falls in the ocean, it brings along with it the rich sediment and deposits it on the mouth of the ocean. So these are the triangular shape depositions of sediments, whereas estuaries are the deep funnel shaped valleys which are free from any deposition. And again, deltas are formed in the regions of low tides, where the rivers with its tributaries, it makes deltas, whereas estuaries are made in the regions of high tides and Rift Valley. Deltas are the most fertile land. They are the most fertile land, and it's very suitable for intensive agriculture and growth of paddy, sugarcane and host of other crops. Sundarban Delta is found in India and Bangladesh, whereas estuaries are the rich fishing grounds of the world. River Narmada and Tapi makes estuaries. Our next question is, why are most of the peninsular rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal? Give two reasons. Name two rivers draining into Arabian Sea. So we have seen that most of the peninsular rivers drains towards the Bay of Bengal. One of the important reasons is that the Western Ghats, the average elevation of Western Ghat is higher than the Eastern Ghats. Apart from this, the Eastern Ghats is discontinued at many places. It is not as much spectacular as the Western Ghats. So, most of the rivers flow towards the Eastern Ghats and finds easy way to Bay of Bengal. The second reason is that the Deccan Plateau has a gentle slope towards the east. So most of the rivers that originates from the Western Ghats moves towards the Eastern Ghats because of this gentle slope. The two rivers that drains into the Arabian Sea, they flow westward. These rivers are River Narmada and River Tapi. Our next question is, describe the important features of Tapi Basin. River Tapi, as we have discussed earlier also, originates in Satpura range, Satpura range of Vindhyachal mountain range, in the Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. River Tapi moves in a rift valley parallel to River Narmada, but it is shorter in length. River Tapi, the drain area of River Tapi drains, or its drain covers the area of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat. Yes, our next question is, describe the three important features of Mahanadi Basin. Mahanadi is one of the important peninsular river. It drains the area of Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Maharashtra. The river Mahanadi originates in the highlands of Chhattisgarh and then moves towards Odisha, and there it makes a delta. The total length of river Mahanadi is around 860 km. River Mahanadi causes heavy flood in all this region. That is why the largest dam of India, that is the Hirakund Dam, that is made on Mahanadi river in this region. Our last question is, what are the causes of river pollution? How can it be prevented? Rivers are polluted by domestic, municipal, industrial and agricultural waste. All these waste and effluents are dumped or thrown into the rivers. Apart from this, the untreated sewage is also dumped in the river, thereby it stops the self-cleansing capacity of the river water. And beside this, the rivers in India are under the influence of urbanization and industrialization. Due to heavy urbanization and industrialization, the rivers in India are polluted to a very great extent. How can this river pollution be prevented? This is one of the most important questions of the day. A few suggestions are that the water, the industrial waste or the urban waste should be thrown into the river after treatment. That is, untreated effluents should not be dumped in the river. Second is that the pupils must be sensitized, must be made sensitized. There must be an awakening among the people about the cleanliness of the rivers. Apart from this, several plans like Ganga Action Plan, the National River Conservation Plan, these must be implemented in order to clean the rivers system.